Good morning and welcome, everyone. My name is Richard Engberg, and I'm an equity research analyst here at Erik Penser Bank with focus on tech. With me, I have Goran Malmberg, CEO of Mentice. Goran, welcome.
Thank you so much, Richard. Nice to be here. So thanks for the opportunity to present Mentice. So I will dive into the presentation. This is me. I've been CEO for Mentice since 2008. So I want to talk about what Mentice do. So really, our focus is to provide solutions for the image-guided interventional therapy area. So productivity, efficiency solutions into this area. So this is what we do, and I will continue to explain what that is really. If you look at the environment that we deal with, it's nothing unique for us, but this is a situation we see in healthcare. There's a rapid increased need for healthcare. We have an aging population. We also see that the variation of quality of healthcare is large, very large, which obviously means that there is a large potential for improvement, for productivity improvement. Many people say that healthcare really need to go the same way as other industries like manufacturing, process industry, and so forth. And there is a lot of things to do there. We also see there is a rapid transition from open surgery, more traditional modalities into minimally invasive and modern techniques. So that's really what we the backdrop to what we are dealing with. So if we're talking so just quickly Mentice then, sorry. So Mentice is 20 some years old, founded back in 1999 in Gothenburg, Sweden. We have been public on the Nasdaq First North since summer of 2019. We are the market leader, global market leader in this specific field, with more than 50% market share. We deal with, I would say, all of the 10 largest medical device companies in the world, and the majority of the top 50 to 100 largest. We have over 600 hospital clients, and we're really represented in major parts of the world. If I go into see if the clicker works again, what are these this therapy area? I talk about the image-guided therapies. What is that? What are we doing? So Mentice is specifically focused on the vessel system of the human body. So we are the plumbers, or we deal with the technique that the plumbers work with in terms of the vessel system. So this is really down to techniques and treatments to make sure to keep the vessel system open, able to transport blood, and also dealing with issues with the organs that are kind of connected to these vessels. So there are procedures in the brain, around the heart, other main organs like the liver, the prostate, or what have you. So this is the procedural area, the clinical area that we deal with. Sorry, my phone. So we started off early on, so 20 years ago with a part up to the left with the image-guided procedure simulators. So the virtual simulator, where we in a virtual environment really are mimicking the human body and providing solutions for that in a virtual way. We have then, in a couple of years back, we added to the right, on the top to the right, the physical flow replication, which really replicated the same procedures, but on 3D printed models, where you can actually deploy real clinical devices and you can test out new versions of devices. So that's the ambition, to move further up in the life cycle with clinical development and so with the device companies. We just recently, before the summer, added Ankyras, which is in the precision medicine side for this case for neuro procedures. And then obviously we are focusing on everything provided in the cloud here. So that's the basis of what we do. If you go back to the or go further to the market segments we deal with, health systems, so hospitals is the ultimate market. Obviously, there's about 60,000 treatment rooms or centers in the world here. That ultimately would be our client, but the largest market for us, and really what's been taking us here, is the medical device business area. So the middle box here, where we help medical device companies to bring out new products, help them to effectively launch products, but also to safely train physicians to use their product. And then on the right side, we talk about the alliances, where you see a need to improve our channel, to really go to the hospital, reach the hospital market through channels. That's initially companies like Philips and Siemens, but it could also be any kind of industry partner in this space. The middle part here is the medical device industry is typically between 60 and 70%. It was slightly higher during the pandemic when the hospital market had a downturn, but the typical situation is probably 60-65. I think that's where we end up this year. Clients on the left part of this slide, you see a hospital client. As I said, more than 600 hospitals in the world, very well distributed over the world. A lot of them in US, Europe, obviously across all of Europe. Asia, very strong position in Japan, where more than half of the teaching hospitals, university hospitals are using our devices or our technology. China is a very strong market, and we are approaching other parts of the Asian market as well. So really well distributed customer base in the hospital side. On the industry to the right here, so we deal with I would say all of the largest companies. These are companies that are maybe 100 or 500 or sometimes 1,000 times larger than Mentice. But we are well known in that space, and we are a very critical part of their method of bringing new products out to the market. So this is really to give you a brief example. See, the videos is not included here, but this is an example of how our system is used. I intended to show a video here, but we have to skip that. But in this situation, the doctor here, Professor Neff, is really practicing on a specific patient in the morning prior to that patient coming in the afternoon. He's working in the actual treatment room called a cath lab. He has a Mentice simulator on the table, not the patient, but the Mentice simulator. And he see on the screens exactly what he will see later on when he has the patient on the table. This would help him to prepare for the actual task. He will probably reduce the risk of a complication, and he will also be able to do the procedure on the patient faster than otherwise if we have started the first time on the patient. Here's another example from Sahlgrenska in Gothenburg, where a group of doctors really going through a case where a complication is occurring, where a vessel is punctured close to the heart, and you get a bleeding, so the heart stops beating, and you need to get an emergency team in to do heart compression, and while the physician is trying to really fix the leaking vessel. So this is three very experienced doctors, but I can assure you that they were very stressed out by solving this issue. Very realistic very, very good practice of critical situation for these guys. I would like to skip these two slides here. This is similar examples. Since I don't have the videos here, it's hard to show. Here's an example of how our system are used to practice on a interventional robotic system. So instead of having the patient here, there's really no other way to understand how the robot works. But in this case, they can actually both learn how to operate the robot, but in the next case also practice on specific procedure using the robot. So we're looking at the market that we deal with. I mean, we're starting with a virtual simulation market in the bottom. We are saying that's a $40 million market, where we have about half or a little bit more than half. We have added on the physical simulation market, which is probably another 10 to 20 million, at least 10 now. And we just now added the predictive simulation or the precision medicine solution from Spain and Ankyras, which are adding another. So this is the way we really are expanding the market and building an even more vertical presence in this specific field. We're looking at more of a technology, how we have developed over the years. I mean, if you go back 20 years ago, we were basically focusing on basic training to unit physicians and nurses. And so we're moving gradually to the right of this page, going to training to proficiency using objective assessment, team training and so forth, and all of these are still relevant. We're still working with them, but we're expanding the scope of what we do. So what we do now is, as I said before, we are allowing people to rehearse on an actual patient's anatomy and really prepare for a specific operation, not a generic one. And our ambition is to move further out to the right to provide physician guidance. Where, I mean, we can exemplify that with a self-driving car that you need to get into traffic light system, warning systems, line assist, auto braking, whatever it is. That kind of technology we believe that Mentice can provide. So we are operating in the core market, 40 million. On the right you have different areas we're looking at where we're expanding. We have added a couple of components. We believe that the addressable market now should be able to build up to 500 million. I think the total market is much larger, but we think we can define with the technology we have a much larger market by what we're doing. And all of this really is the idea of leveraging our technology, our physics, if you may, to build a vascular twin or digital twin of patients, to add more and more knowledge into this digital twin of a patient and provide value back to all stakeholders that want to use our products. That's the basic idea of what we're doing. Going back to the Ankyras thing, just a quick comment. This was again the acquisition from the spring. We announced, some of you may have seen just a month ago or so, our first commercial deal from Ankyras. It's a 9 million SEK 3-year deal from a German company called Acandis. And this is really promising. I mean, Ankyras is a very strong technology, very well validated, but it's not been commercialized. And I think we can really bring that experience to Ankyras, and I think this will be followed by other similar opportunities. So this is a really nice start, just a couple of months after we made this acquisition. So I think you can also, if you haven't, I mean, look into our website. We are updating that. We did a new version of this just some time back, but you can see really what we're aiming for. I mean, our focus on the proficiency of our main client, both in the healthcare side, the medtech side, and also the X-ray and kind of imaging technology market. So I think that's very, very clear what we are aiming to do here. Looking very quickly at the business, last couple of slides, we have had I would say a good year. We are growing with 23% on an order intake overall. Very strong rebound from the hospital market after the 2 years of pandemic. Very nice to see. Slightly slower order intake from the industry, but I think that's also a reaction from an extremely strong year in 2021. From an order intake, we are even better. We are growing at 27% up to through September, so the first 3 quarters, and really growth across all our region and business areas. So really as a summary, we have a really good position. We are a global leader in this specific field. In these clinical areas, we have solutions aiming for the daily clinical practice before, during, and after the procedure. We have a proven business model for what we've done. We have worked with that for a lot of years, 10, 15, 20 years. And we can add more products, but both organically developed, but also exemplified by the acquisitions we've done in a couple of years, where we can roll this out in the distribution mechanisms that we have, and the relationship to our clients. The client base is really a core part of our values. We see a large opportunity with continued growth in this space, and it's really related to the growth of the clinical areas, less so really the expectation of growth for use of simulation. We look at this much broader than just simulation. This is online tools, this is decision tools, and it's a lot of different things. We really see upon the growth of the therapy areas and the treatment modalities here is really what is driving our opportunity. And I think we have a good base with the market, with the brand recognition we have as a company, and with the products we provide. We see really a good opportunities going forward. That's a very brief, short introduction. I will stop there, Rickard.
Thank you, Göran. And I will continue with some questions.
Sure.
Can you please describe the collaboration you have with Siemens and what you presented on one of the largest Chinese medtech markets a couple of weeks ago?
Yes, we're working very closely with Siemens globally. Obviously, knowing that China is one of the most rapidly expanding market, that's been a focus area for our dialogue. What we presented back in early part of this year is an agreement with Siemens in China, where their interventional robot division with Corindus have decided to bundle a Mentice system with the cell of every robot. So that's the work we're doing. Their robot is still not approved in China. But they are working with market preparation. So what we did a couple of weeks ago here is that we were displaying together with Siemens in a congress, and really showing the value of this integration, the ability for the clinical team to be able to understand and learn how the robot works, and also practice on specific procedural areas on the robot before even considering getting to a patient. So that's an initial order. We delivered 10, or we took an order for 10 systems earlier this year. Part of them have been delivered, and we're looking at delivering the remaining part here kind of shortly.
Great. And one thing I've noticed when I read your financial statements is that you have seen a large growth in recurring revenue. Can you please describe what is driving this, and how your sales process have changed with the focus on growth from recurring?
Yeah, this is a tough step to take. I mean, we took that fairly early. I think one of the first in the simulation field back in 2019, where we said that everything we sell to Siemens and Philips, but also to the hospital market, need to be based on time-based licenses, so SaaS licenses or time recurring, and that obviously takes a couple of years to get that back. So you can probably look at how much we pushed revenue forward, both for 2020, 2021, and so. So we see now that we're getting the attraction for that. What we also have done is that we have moved more and more to OpEx-based selling system with the rental and so also to industry. We still have part of our business from the industry being a perpetual model, but we're gradually moving that. So it's really a long-term work to move to that position. But we see this year we really started to get real traction on that, and we see a rapid growth, as you say, Rick. Yeah.
Okay, great. And Electa said this morning that they still see some disturbance in the supply chain. Do you see that as well? And how have you been able to deal with it?
Yes and yes. We still see issues. We deal with issues not every week, but every other week, and but we've been fortunate enough to manage that so far. I mean, you have to react to this thing in a completely different way to what you did 3, 4, 5 years ago. You have to act on a spot market. You have to be willing to pay for maybe 10x for a component compared to what you paid before. But no, I think we have a good preparation. We have also during the year increased our stock. So the number of systems we keep for the future is much larger to really be less sensitive to those kind of disturbance. So it's a completely different world, and we need to be much better prepared for things like that. But so far we've been able to manage.
Okay, and my last question is regarding the segment hospital systems. Can you please describe that a bit, and can you also describe what is causing the large growth in the 2 latest reports?
Yeah, no, we sell into the departments, and those departments are really based on the number of patients they could treat. And during the pandemic, we saw a dramatic decline in the number of procedures, which obviously then impacted the financial situation for the hospitals. So and we also see that the sales cycles in the hospital side is typically 3, 6, maybe even longer, 9, 12 months. So we see a lot of postponement of activities during the pandemic, and that's started to open up in the later part of last year, and we see a really strong rebound during the entire 2022. We still have some issues in some parts of Asia. China still have some lockdowns and things like that, but for the most part, the hospital market is going as good and even better than we did prior to the pandemic.
Great. Goran, thank you for taking time to calling here in at Erik Penser Bank.
Always a pleasure, Richard. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thanks everyone for watching and listening.
Bye now.